There are 9 levers you can use in business to enhance your strategic thinking, create better strategies, and achieve more expansion. Without wasting time, let me tell you straight away the central concept, which I will then delve into with the 9 strategic levers. The essence of strategic thinking lies in the ability to identify, create, or exploit asymmetries between you and your competitors in the market. If there is no asymmetry and everyone is equal, there is no competitive advantage and no strategy that leads you to victory. Think about the game of tic-tac-toe. In this game, if both players play well, neither has an advantage, and the game always ends in a tie. There was also a famous movie, War Games, if you remember, where a young Matthew Broderick had a computer play against itself to create a stalemate and prevent a nuclear attack, because winning was impossible. The games always ended in a tie. This is what happens in business when everyone creates similar products. No one has a real advantage. Maybe those businesses survive, but none truly flourish. Let's consider a more complex strategy game, chess. Here too, at the beginning of the game, the chances of winning are equal. There is no real asymmetry. However, during the game, a player may find a weakness in the opponent's defense and gain some sort of positional advantage. From then on, unless they make blunders, they will win the game. It's the same in business. You identify or create an advantage over competitors and focus your efforts on it to create an asymmetry in your favor and increase this difference that sets you apart from others. A simple example to understand could be creating an innovative production process that allows you to produce goods at half the cost of others. This is a significant advantage that you will obviously exploit. The concepts and terms of strategy are derived from war. One of the most celebrated strategy books is Sun Tzu's The Art of War, but you have to be careful with abstractions when applying it to business. No one drops bombs in business. More than a war, it seems like a flirting competition, where the most attractive business wins. And by attractive, I don't mean necessarily beautiful, but one that creates an advantage and becomes known for providing more value to the customer and satisfying their needs. The way to satisfy a customer's needs varies a lot. There are 1,000 ways, but to group them into classes, you need to know that customers look for products or services that provide one or more of these benefits. Efficiency, something that solves their problem with less time, effort, or sacrifice. For example, Amazon delivers what they order with one click, without the inconvenience or time loss of having to go out to find what they want. Savings, something that solves their problem at a lower cost or saves them money. If 2 products are perceived as identical, the customer tends to choose the one that costs less. For this reason, unbranded products in supermarkets, or those with the supermarket's own brand that cost less than branded ones, have arisen. Simplicity, something that reduces complexity or minimizes mental effort in using it. For example, mobile phones used to have a full keyboard and were difficult to use for some. Apple came up with the iPhone, which had only one button and was intuitive even for children to use. Risk reduction, something that reduces the risk in doing or owning something. This is the business of insurance, for example, or when a product or service has an incredible warranty, like Hyundai or Kia offering 10-year warranties on their cars. Aesthetics, something beautiful that captivates senses, stylish or with a certain attitude. This is the realm of art or fashion, for example. Entertainment, something that entertains or amuses them. For example, cinema or social networks fall into this category. Social cause, something that contributes to a social cause that the customer supports. For example, Tom's Shoes donates a pair of shoes to the needy for every pair they sell. If a customer is sensitive to this, Tom's offer is more attractive than other normal shoes for sale. So if you find and create an advantage that fits into one or more of these customer benefit categories, you're already heading in the right direction. Now, let's see what the 9 strategic levers are that you can use to create this asymmetry and advantage in the market we talked about. 1. Unmet demand. This lever is simply a continuation of describing the benefits for the customer. The point here is to identify a need that customers have that is not yet satisfied by the market offer and create a solution for what no one else offers. This would give you a clear advantage. For example, in 2006, The market for home fryers was declining because frying was not considered healthy. It required a lot of oil, which was then a problem to dispose of. A French company created the first air fryer, which essentially fried without oil. It was a great success. 2. Low production costs. The second lever is the ability to produce a good or deliver a service at a lower price compared to the competition. For example, Grom, an Italian ice cream company, instead of having machines and ice cream makers in every store, created the ice cream bases centrally and then shipped them to the stores, which only had to add the finishing touches to prepare it. This saved costs for highly qualified staff and advanced equipment in each store. If you can achieve this, you would obviously be advantaged compared to the competition, which could not sell at your prices or would have lower margins. 3. Legal protection. Perhaps this lever is the easiest to understand. If you have a patent on something that prevents others from copying you, you have a clear advantage in the market. Think of Geox shoes, which for years enjoyed the advantage of being the only one to claim to have soles that allow your feet to breathe. 4. Proximate objective. This lever is a bit different from the others. It refers to having an objective that is the next one to be achieved. It is based on the fact that companies usually overly complicate strategies and like to set very large, often unattainable goals. So, if you start setting achievable goals, you're already a step ahead of others. Be careful though. By achievable goal, I don't mean something unambitious or small. It means that you have the means to get there or are close to doing so. For example, strategist Richard Rumelt explains how the US goal in 1969 to go to the moon was actually a proximate objective because NASA had the technology and means to get there. As you can see, it was not unambitious. However, setting the goal of going to Mars in 1969 was out of reach. Now, Elon Musk has set that goal, but for now, it's more of a future vision than a current strategy. 5. Chain link systems. This lever means creating a system where various parts are connected to provide the service. This makes it harder for competitors to copy you. Think of IKEA, for example. Unlike other furniture manufacturers, it has created its own stores, distinctive designs, a warehouse of ready-to-assemble products, attractive showrooms, etc. It's all a set of connected components. IKEA therefore has a competitive advantage over every furniture company that simply wants to build and sell furniture because they don't have the entire chain link system. 6. Focus and positioning. Focusing and positioning yourself correctly in the market gives you an advantage. Compared to a company that sells a bit of everything, if you position yourself in your sector with a specific brand and product for a specific target, you definitely have an advantage. 7. Exploit a market dynamic. There are external forces in the market that you can consider and use to your advantage. With the right timing, you can often take advantage of them. For example, sometimes a sector becomes deregulated, like the telephone industry. It used to be controlled by very few players, but now several other companies have entered the market. Or think about the post-COVID wave that led to a significant increase in raw material prices. These are market movements that create changes, and those who find a way to adapt and gain an advantage first win. Another example is technological innovations. We are experiencing this now with AI, which has disrupted various dynamics and power positions in the market, leading to a real battle among companies to gain an advantage over others. 8. Inertia. Another lever is inertia, which means that a company tends to continue doing what it does and is unable or not easily willing to change. You can use this to your advantage by pushing for a change early on because you know others will take some time to adapt. Netflix, when it crushed Blockbuster, focused primarily on rapid growth and market penetration, knowing that Blockbuster would take a long time to adapt. And so it was. If Netflix had been slow, a giant like Blockbuster would have seen that they had a good model, copied them, and crushed them with enough time available. Before revealing the 9th and final lever, I just would like to tell you that if you find these videos helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave your comments or feedback below the video. This would be really helpful to me and to support the channel. And now, back to the video. 9. Entropy. There is also another force at play that you can use to your advantage. In business, entropy is the tendency of companies to become less organized and focused. Think about how many start launching new products, expanding their offerings, becoming larger and more bureaucratic organizations, etc. You can use this lever in two ways. On one hand, you can try to ensure that this dispersion within your company does not happen. On the other hand, you can anticipate that it will happen to others. So by maintaining your focus on what you offer, over time, you'll see that while others' focus starts to decrease, for example, by launching different products under the same brand, you will benefit from it. Not all these levers can be applied by all businesses, but many can, and you can use this list as a guide to identify areas where you can create an advantage. However, there is one lever that I have mentioned individually, but also impacts other levers that a wise entrepreneur learns to use very well, and that is related to branding, focus, and positioning. This is precisely what I am going to talk about in the video that will appear here as soon as it's ready. In the meantime, if you missed it, you can watch the first video in this series on strategy here, which explains the difference between good and bad strategies. To the founder's success.